Good evening, and welcome to Suffering in Silence with Minister Tia on Luv Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. We are here with you every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. Luv Bay family, we are rising out of the ashes together. On tonight, our topic is signs of domestic violence and where to get help. We have with us Pastor May Davis of Greater Works Christian Ministries, our co-host, and our guest for the evening is Minister Constance Perkins, who is also a Philadelphia police officer. Luv Bay on tonight, we want to start with a correction. Our guest on last week, Stephanie Frantantero, she wanted to let us know and share this information that she misspoke when she stated that in countries where suicide is considered illegal, that those who end their lives may be charged as criminals posthumously. She meant to say that they are considered criminals and treated as such based on her research. But she can't say for sure whether they are actually charged. So she is sorry for that confusion and just wanted to share that with us. And we also want to emphasize, Luv Bay, that you all matter. For help for yourself or someone else who may be struggling with thoughts of suicide, you can call 1-800-273-8255, or you can go to the website suicidepreventionlifeline.org. You can also go to Befrienders Volunteer Action to Prevent Suicide. To find a helpline by country, you can visit their website, which is www.befrienders.org. So listeners, if you have any questions or comments for our guest or co-host on this evening, you can email us at sufferinginsilencedv@gmail.com. Also, if you have resources that you would like to share with us on a national or local level from your country, your community, local organizations, or your faith community, you can also email us at sufferinginsilencedv@gmail.com. And with that, Pastor May, would you like to greet the listeners on this evening?
Hello. It's so good to be back on Luv Bay radio station. Week after week. I miss you guys. I hope you missed me. Great show. We've been talking about giving some awesome information to those who are suffering in domestic violence. We're here for you to give you as much information as we can get, and hopefully that all the guests that are on the show, or who have come on the show in the past, and those that will be coming in the future, will help to get you in a better place, get you to a place and take you out of a place of domestic violence and get you into a place that's healthy for you and for your family, because we are concerned about you and you. And it's good to be back and to talk with our guests on tonight. So hopefully you get some exciting news that you can use or share with somebody else.
Thank you. So, Pastor May, what's happening with Sisters in the Pulpit? We got some new stuff coming up.
Okay. Yes, we do. Sisters in the Pulpit, which is for any sister that's in ministry, not just pulpit ministry. If you are a mother, if you are an auntie, a grandmother, trust me, you are in a pulpit. Your pulpit is just not inside a church, it's outside the walls of the church, because you're always ministering to someone. You're ministering to your children, your grandchildren. You're always imparting wisdom. So because of all the stuff that's going on in the world, we started in January a prayer circle called Skillful Women Pray. And that is scripture, when a prophet called for the Lord told him to call for the skillful women who know to go before the Lord, know how to go before the Lord, call on the Lord and petition him, and the Lord will hear and answer the cries of his daughters. So we're doing it again for the month of June, starting the first Saturday in June at 9 o'clock. We will be praying for an hour, and we will be praying for the concerns of the world. Not only just what's going on here in the U.S., but for other countries that are experiencing trauma, experiencing war, famine, even here in the United States, all of the killing of our young people, the genocide of our young people here in the United States. We will be praying for marriages, for those who are in domestic violence. We will be praying for all of those. And God has said this is half of the year, and we need to go back because more stuff has happened,
Yes.
Since January. So it's time for the women to get back on the wall and call for the skillful women. So we'll be doing that every Saturday in the month of June from 9 to 10. And, hopefully we'll be able to get some information out to you. So if you want to be a part of it, come on the Zoom meeting, you're welcome to do so.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Minister Constance, would you please take a moment and introduce yourself to Luv Bay? And I would be remiss, Luv Bay, if I did not mention that this is one of my sisters in the ministry because we share the same spiritual mother in Pastor May Davis.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Minister Connie, please.
Yes. My name is Constance Perkins. I am a minister of a lot of things. I'm a Philadelphia police officer. I minister in that aspect. I have been ministering the gospel, the word of God for several years. And I also have been, ministering to and educating women about domestic violence. So that is just a little of I guess a couple of the hats that God has me put on as we speak about hats and our titles and things that we do. Most of all, I really look at myself as, just a servant and a testimony to God about the things that I came through from my life that I made it through so that I can help somebody else. So,
yes.
Hello, everybody, and I am grateful to be on Luv Bay Talk Radio. I am honored to be here tonight.
Thank you so much. We are glad to have you. We are honestly glad to have you here. So as usual, we want to start with sharing some resources, and then we will move right into our topic. The first resource that we have is Women in Transition. And this West Philadelphia nonprofit has been helping domestic violence victims and survivors since 1971. If you are at least 14 years old and need free bilingual counseling and advocacy, group support, self-defense classes, which are virtual due to the pandemic right now, or substance abuse intervention, Women in Transition can help. If you need telephone counseling, you can call Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All their services are available for people of any gender identity or sexual orientation. Their address is 718 Arch Street, Suite 401. And these resources are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the United States. Their lifeline number is 215-751-1111. Their website is helpwomen.org. Then we have the Lutheran Settlement House, which opened its doors in 1902 to help Philadelphia's growing immigrant population. Since then, they have adapted to the needs of Philadelphians from all cultures, races, religions, sexualities, and genders. Their bilingual domestic violence program can help you find free counseling for you and your kids and support groups. And the Housing First program can help you find crisis hotel placements and transitional survivor housing. Their address is 1340 1340 Frankfort Avenue. Their phone number is 215-426-8610, and their website is lutheransettlement.org. LutheranSettlement.org. And we also have Congreso de Latinos Unidos, which has been working to build up Philly's Latinx community since 1977. If you are a Latinx person in a domestic abuse situation, the group's Latina Domestic Violence Program can provide you and your children, ages 4 to 17, with counseling, legal advocacy, group therapy, community resources, emergency relocation, and housing assistance. If you are not experiencing domestic violence directly but know someone who is, Congresso can help you with resources to help your loved one. If you are not a domestic violence victim or survivor but have witnessed it, you can find help here too. And their address is 216 West Somerset Street, SOMERSET. Their phone number is 215-763-8870, and their website is congresso.net, CONGRESO.net. And again, listeners, our topic on tonight is signs of domestic violence, where to get help. And I just want to share a bit of an article that I read this week, and then I'm going to just turn it over to Minister Connie and just let her go. This article was written by Michelle Myers. This is from May 9th, 2022. Where to find help if you're experiencing domestic violence in the Philly region. You or someone you love can be experiencing different types of violence within your own home without recognizing it. Home isn't always a safe space for many Philadelphians. In fact, the number of domestic abuse-related deaths in the city more than doubled from 2020 to 2021. Domestic abuse and dating violence can take many forms, including physical, sexual, emotional, verbal, psychological, mental, financial, and cultural abuse. And a perpetrator can be a partner, parent, family member, guardian, or friend. Domestic abuse can happen to people of all genders and sexual identities. There's no one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter type of abusive relationship, says Katie Young Wilds, a spokesperson from Women Against Abuse, which helps people of all genders who are dealing with violence. Broadly, domestic abuse involves someone who is trying to maintain control of the relationship. Signs of domestic abuse can include isolation from your loved ones, pressure to escalate the relationship, name-calling, physical or sexual abuse, and financial control. If you are in an LGBTQ relationship, you might experience additional abusive dynamics, including being outed. So I wanted to share that article, which was an interesting article. So if you'd like to look it up and read it, again, the author is Michelle Myers, and the title is Where to Find Help If You're Experiencing Domestic Violence in the Philly Region. So with that, Minister Connie, I give you the floor.
Thank you, Minister Tia. I appreciate it. The topic has it's such a profound topic because a lot of times people don't understand how they get in situations of domestic violence. They don't know which warning signs to pay attention to. They don't know that, some of the controlling issues that they see in the beginning as cute or, this guy really, really likes me, or, he pays so much attention to me. They don't pay attention to those warning signs until further down when it turns into abuse, verbal, physical, financial, emotional. They don't understand the signs. And I think I've been through almost every phase of those different abuse stages in different relationships. So I want to address the beginning of maybe, I guess I'll start with emotional. the beginning of emotional abuse starts off as they are so overwhelmingly available. They watch your every move. They want to know everything about you without sharing everything about themselves.
Yep.
You know, where you go, where do you go? What do you do on a daily basis? Who are your friends? What do y'all do when y'all hanging out? They just want to know every aspect of what you're doing, when you're doing it, and who you're doing it with. And if it's somebody connected to, you know, previous relationship, say you have a girlfriend who was really close with your previous boyfriend, they will act like that girlfriend is no good for you. Mm-hmm. They try and turn you against that person to make you feel like that person doesn't have your best interest. And that state, you'll start to tear down good friendships and relationships because this person is warning you that, yeah, you better watch her because, you know, what if she was talking to him? What if she was telling him your business? What if she was telling, you know, giving him bad advice concerning you? They really want to alienate you from people who you're close to, yes. You know, even family members, you know. Why does that person talk to you like that? You know, you deserve better treatment. I would never do that to you. I would never treat you like that, you know. If they're supposed to be your family, why are they treating you like this? You know, that's the I guess the influx of, you know, making you depend on them and them only. You know, you get to the point where, you know, when you have a conversation, they want you to tell them all of your thoughts, you know. Mm-hmm. What do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go? You know, and they give you a lot of hope for things that they want to do while controlling your environment. You know, where you going? If you get up and go to the store, where you going? Oh, okay, I'm gonna go with you. Mm-hmm. You know, that kind of stuff. You know, that makes you feel like, oh, you know, he just want to protect me. You know, he cares mm-hmm. so much about me. But those are warning signs because they're taking you into a place where you are no longer an individual who can think for themselves, that you feel like you got to tell this person, you know, everything you're going to do. And like I said, it sounds like it's cute in the beginning because, you know, you're communicating with each other. But if you look at the situation, he's not doing those things also. He's not telling you where he's going every minute. He's not talking to you about his friends and everything that he's expecting you to do. He's not doing it also. Right. You know, and it locks you into the beginning stages of, you know, emotional and could be verbal abuse mm-hmm. that could change into any direction. Like every relationship does not necessarily spawn into physical abuse, but the emotional and the verbal abuse can be so bad that it begins to shut you down and make you feel like, you know, you're, you know, in this closed space and you have nobody to help you. Why? Because he made you alienate your friends, your closest friends. Right. You know, those supportive family members, you know, he wound up having something negative to say about them, especially if they see through him and try to warn you about that person, mm-hmm. him or her. I can say that sometimes I speak in the, you know, gender of him when I'm talking about an abuser, but it's also females that abuse men. And I've seen it so many times and experienced, you know, trying to minister to those men also because they have pride issues. You know, they have denial issues and they feel like they just got to handle it because they're men, that they're told to be strong, be brave, you know, no crying, no emotional, anything. So, you know, excuse me, I'm saying her, you know, I'm saying him when I'm addressing this, him and her, but it can be either gender. So I want you to put yourself in that place, no matter if you're male or female. Mm-hmm. So the person gets you locked into, where you going, what you're doing, who you're doing it with. Even if you're religious and you're going to church, it's something that people don't see, because all they see is a smiling, happy couple, because you're told to, you better not embarrass me, and don't tell anybody our business, or it's going to be a problem, in these relationships. When you let people get that close to you to the point where it starts a relationship, the warning signs were there in the beginning, like I said, as far as him trying to isolate people from you and you from people, and even making you feel like if he's not doing something with you, then you can't do anything.
Right. Because
he's texting you or calling you, want to know if you're home, what you're doing at home, who you talking to, who you've been talking to, did you talk? And they make it so casual that you don't see at first that it's becoming a pattern. You think that they're just interested in your day and how it was going, but it's still also a ploy to put you in a space where he can control your narrative. And once he gets you into that place, like I said, it can spin off to emotional, physical, financial, and different directions. Also, the beginning of, the relationship where there are these guys who they can date you for 2 to 3 days and they start talking about marriage. Red flag, warning, warning, beep, beep, like back up. I have had so many marriage proposals off of the first and second and third, whatever date it was. Like, oh my gosh, you're just so special. He was so stupid to let you go. Like, he just talks, makes you, and it fills your head up. Like, you're just this wonderful person. And they start talking about a future. Girl, don't go that way. No, man, don't do that, sir. No, back up, because those people, they trying to lock you into their control from the beginning. If I tell her I want to marry her, then that means that I can start controlling her life right away, because now I can start saying, oh, it's just me and you against the world. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Nobody's going to tell us what to do. I'm going to take care of you. You're going to take care of me, and blah, blah, blah. And, oh, by the way, I'm not working right now, so I might need your help with, a little thing. Like, those are the people that try and get you, especially if you're a person that have your own place. They weasel their way into the relationship being needy and feeling like nobody is helping me. I've been doing this. I've been looking for a job. But I need somewhere to stay so I can get an address and a paycheck. And, they use all kinds of excuses to get in your space that you work hard for, even if you have children or don't have children. Like, they will, your children are the best thing that ever happened to them, for real. Sometimes they pay more attention to your children than they do you. Beep, beep, back up. That's another warning sign, because they could be a pedophile on top of being abusive to you. And why are you so interested in my children? Why do you want to spend so much time with my children and you don't even know them? You don't even know me yet. So, those warning signs, a lot of people get, I guess, gaslit in their relationships, where people pump them up and make them think that it is going to be one thing and it's something totally different. They'll court you for a while, and then they'll be the type that always want to stay until it's like the wee hours. You got to go to bed. You got to go to work, and this dude's still sitting there. Sir, please go home. I got to go to work. And you assert yourself that way. They look at it as, you're too headstrong. You're too, they want you to wait until they're ready to leave. They want you to wait until they're ready to, dismiss you by walking away. and that is a definite warning sign. Excuse me. That's a definite warning sign because it all breeds control. Control of everything you do, control of your environment. They in your apartment don't want to leave, then it's 2:00 in the morning. They want to start snuggling and want to spend the night. Oh, I just want to hold you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that turns into a lot of stuff that you don't want, especially in the beginning. As a Christian woman, we're taught to save ourselves for marriage and things like that. And sometimes it doesn't happen that way. It's a little unrealistic because we're human. And when you have a relationship and you have standards, like Steve Harvey has the book, what is it? Think Like a Man.
Yeah.
Act like a lady, think like a man, where he tells people to give that 90-day, rule till you have sex or intimacy with this person, because he compares it to company. You got at least 90 days before you start getting benefits. So, a lot of women are, 90-day people, and they make the person wait and see how they're going. Let me tell you, when the man is a predator, when he's abusive, he can wait your stinking 90 days.
Yep.
Sure.
He can wait. He can wait. And some of them can wait. Like I said, they want to marry you right away. Some of them will wait until you're married. Like, literally, they will hold off all of this stuff, and they will play the part all the way up until marriage. So that's why you have to know the warning signs.
Yes.
You have to know that they don't want you to be an individual. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want to control everything you do, and they want to pull people away from you that's close to you. And they don't want you talking about anything concerning them to anybody. Why is that? They don't want you to tell your girlfriend that you lost your temper with me and yelled at me for something stupid, because they'll say, "Oh, girl, watch out." That's a warning sign. They don't want you to tell people that. Oh my God, and they apologize so well. They apologize with gifts. They apologize with, affirmations, and they apologize in ways that, they're learning you because they're watching everything. They apologize in ways that they know you want to be, apologize to, because you sat there and told them all your information about your previous relationship. So they're going to mimic that thing. The best thing is to get to know someone without worrying and dealing with your past. It's none of their business. It really is none of their business until you're on a level where you're courting, you're to the point of it's time to start marriage counseling or get into that marriage mode, and you have a third person there to help you maneuver. Some things you just should not tell the next person, because the spirit of the enemy will allow that person to have that aspect and that aspiration and that kind of attitude also. So then you're looking at the demons he already got, and you're looking at the demons of past being manifest in this person because you done shared everything that you don't like. And the enemy, he comes to kill, to steal, and destroy. So he's going to come back in that form through that person to antagonize you and torture you even more. So that's why women, you see things piling up or things adding up in your relationship and stuff that mirror your past, is because you brought it up and you didn't deal with it with God. That man can't do nothing about what somebody did to you in your past. That woman can't do anything about what somebody did to you in that past. But when you tell them all your weaknesses, everything that you like and don't like, keep some things to yourself. Let them figure it out. Let God guide you, or let your instincts guide you to what you should share with certain people, because they'll keep it in the back of their mind forever. And all of a sudden, You sitting here now, Bob done showed up and Jimmy done showed up and all of these people showed up in this one incident, and you sitting there looking crazy like, oh my God, why is this happening to me again? Well, did you pay attention to the warning signs? Mm-hmm. Did you see he was controlling? Did you see he wanted to know everything about you but didn't share anything about himself? You know, they want to know about your past relationship, but God knows he is not going to tell you about the girl that he was just with. Mm-hmm. He ain't going to share that information. Only thing he's going to share with you is everything she did wrong.
Exactly.
Yep. Everything that she did to hurt him. Everything she did that, oh, I know a woman like you wouldn't treat me like that. They look for sympathy, okay? Mm-hmm. They look for you to be their rescue ranger. Don't do it. Sorry. No. If you don't have a place to live, then guess what? You better go find one, because this is mine. This is my place to live. And I'm not bringing you in here. We're not moving in together and all that. Oh, we can split the bills. I'll take care of this. Yeah, guess what? That starts in the beginning. And then all of a sudden, it's in your name. They don't got to help you pay nothing.
That's right.
They'll do it for a period of time just to win you over. And all of a sudden, it's, oh, my God, babe, I lost my job again. You know why they lost their job again? Because they want you to take care of them and they want to sit around and do nothing. That's why the other woman kicked them to the curb.
Yeah.
You know, and then they want to control and abuse you because they make you feel inadequate unless you're making them happy. And that's the key. In every relationship you're in, if you don't feel the joy of being around this person without any conditions, without anything that is, I guess, an enigma or something from your past that, you know, this person is, you know, mimicking so that you can, oh yeah, because I like this, I like that, I like this, I like that. You know what? Start slow. Don't tell them everything in the beginning. Don't tell them everything you like. Let them figure it out. Let them mess up. Be like, oh, well, thank you, but I really don't like that. And see how he responds. When you say no, when you say, I don't like that. If they care enough, then they'll say, okay, I'm sorry. I'll try better. Or next time I'll get you this, or, you know, or they'll ask you. Because sometimes they come in a relationship and they doing everything that they've been doing for years and they don't change according to who they're with. They just stay the same and make women accept it. Mm-hmm. They do it, and men the same thing. Women just want you to come into their bubble and accept things the way they want it. They want to control you. They want you to do what some other man wouldn't do. And they have this cookie cutter person in their mind and they're trying to make you become that person. Mm-hmm. That's another warning sign. Don't try and change who I am. Now, we might do different things than I've ever done before, which is great. Experiencing new things is great. But don't make it so if I don't do these things, then something's wrong with me.
Exactly.
Some people don't understand that that's their main thing, is making you feel like and think that something is wrong with you if you don't accept everything that they're doing for you or bringing to you. Even the bad stuff. They got to say, they want to say, you should accept me how I am. But they won't accept you how you are.
Exactly.
They're doing all of these things to change you. Why are they trying to change you? Mm-hmm. Why they want you to do these things? And a lot of times women, they get lonely. Men, they get lonely. And they accept these advances because they feel like, how am I going to be with somebody? I've been alone for too long. And they settle. Men and women do not settle. God has a specific person for you.
Yes.
And that person that God has for you is not going to be perfect either. But God gives you both the ability to work through everything together. Mm-hmm. Like Pastor May, who's been married for so many years, she will not look you in your face and tell you it's been easy. Because it's never easy when you're in a relationship. it requires work.
Yes, it
It
is.
requires a putting your time and having a genuine love for your partner that you don't want to do anything to hurt them. Okay? That's the person that you should be, looking at, that they don't want to do anything to hurt you physically, emotionally, financially. You should see that that person is willing to work with you when it comes to things that they don't like that you like. That you like that they don't like.
Right.
Okay? It has to be compromise in there. It has to be understanding. And those people who really, really don't want you to, have your own opinion and your own desires and all of your wants and your needs to be met, warning. They're not in it for you. They're in it for themselves and what they can get from you. You have to make sure that if this guy is, how can I say it? I went on a date with this guy, and he was testing me. This man took me to. He had a good job, making good money and everything, and he took me on our first date to Golden Corral. I was like, I grinned and bared it because I'm a kind of person that I'm not like, oh, if you don't take me to a 5-star restaurant, you can get out my face. I just, I enjoyed it. I talked, blah, 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 and everything. And then I found out his reason for taking me to Golden Corral. His reason was that he wanted to make sure that I was good enough to take on a date, that I wouldn't frown at a cheap spot before he spend money on me.
Don't play with me like that.
So it just let me see that this guy is going to play games with every aspect of the relationship. I only did this because I wanted to see if you was going to get mad or not. I only did this because I wanted to see if you were going to be jealous of not or not.
From the beginning.
From the beginning, they start these games. All of the. I went out on a date with a guy, and it was somebody I knew from my past. I ran back into him with family and everything. And I guess this guy, he was like, I should have married you years ago. Well, you didn't. So I'm a different person. You're a different person. And mind you, it's been 20 years in between these relationships. And he was like, yes, well, he found out that I was a Christian, so now he's a Christian. And every time I come over his house,
wait, he's a Christian because you're a Christian.
Yes, and it's like, okay, then he found out I'm a police officer, then he want to tell me about he got 2 good jobs now, And after going out on, I think maybe 2 dates, he says, I want you, now mind you, I told him I was in a dating phase. I was recently divorced a couple of, years ago. I'm just in my dating phase. He says to me, well, I want you to be my woman. I was like,
oh, really?
I'm not ready to settle down with anybody yet. He was like, well, he had a new car. He was like, you like my car? He was like, I'm going to buy you a new car. I said, excuse me? He said, what kind of car you want? I was like, I don't know what kind of car I want. Why you ask me that? Because I want to get you a new car. I'm about to buy my house in Delaware. And, we can move out there and you don't have to work. You don't have to work. I'm going to take care of you. I said, I don't care. He's flashing money. I was renovating something in my house. He paid the bill for something. I'm just watching him real close and everything. And then I seen that he did want to take care of me financially, but then he wanted to also control me. He didn't want me to date anybody. He wanted me to stop at him. That's the end of my dating. It's him, and that's it. Mind you, I don't know you. It's been over 20 years. I don't know who you are, and you don't know. You didn't even get to know who I am. I was a teenager, like, dude. But he was so insistent on controlling me that he started trying to use finances to do it. I want to buy you a new car. I'm about to buy this house in Delaware. You don't even have to work. I'll make sure you got everything you need. I was like, no. He was upset that I did it, and we stopped communicating. Maybe about a month later, I was bored. I texted him. I said, hey, what's going on? How you doing? You know, just bored, just to see what he was doing. And he was like, nothing. What you doing? I said, I'm about to order me something to eat, you know, just chilling. He was like, well, I'll take care of it. I'm going to go. What do you want? So he went out and got everything I wanted. If I thought I wanted it, he bought it. So he comes over, and we're standing in the kitchen, and we're talking. And then he says to me, as he's making his plate, and I'm making my plate, he's like, oh, so I'm Muslim now. Excuse me? He was like, yeah, I'm Muslim now, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow. I said, I just stopped. I lost my appetite and everything. So I'm standing there and I'm looking at him. He's like, what's wrong? I said, he's like, you not eating? I said, no, I lost my appetite. I said, and also, this is not going to work for real. I said, I don't do Muslim. I am a Christian woman, and I'm not going to date a Muslim, because that's my strong conviction. And it wasn't that he was Muslim that I had a problem with. It was the fact that he changed his religion within a month. Mm-hmm. So that let me know that he was only doing it to try and get me, that's where his heart was anyway. So you have to watch people and where they are, you know, in the things that they do. Just give them a little time, and you'll see that true person come out. That's why they tell you to wait. Yes. You know, to get to know somebody. You know, a lot of times you hear stories of people that got married in a couple of months or a couple of weeks, and they've been together for years. Well, yes, that happens to people, but that don't necessarily mean that that's going to happen to you. Mm-hmm. You know, especially when you see all these signs. Had I just let this man buy me a new car and, you know, sold my house and moved to Delaware with him and everything, and all of a sudden he's sitting on the rug praying, and I'm looking like, what? Then he's going to expect me to convert because he's my husband and he wants to control me. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that people understand I don't have a problem with Muslim and the religions. I have family members who are Muslim, and they love their religion, and I love them unconditionally. So it's just that relationship wasn't for me. I didn't want to be married to a Muslim man. I wanted to be married to a Christian man, a man of God that had the same beliefs and understood what I was going. So you have to watch who you connect yourself to. You know, don't be all excited about the glitz and glam at the beginning. He taking me to this restaurant. He taking me to that restaurant. Oh yeah, he bought me this. He bought me that. He gave me money. Blah blah blah. He was like that back when I was a teenager. You know, I still didn't connect with him like he wanted me to, and he was buying me everything I wanted. No, that's not it. You know, you have to be able to, women and men, to take care of yourself so that when someone comes along, that they add to who you are, and they don't be a person that you have to lean on, because if you don't have them in their abusive ways, then you're going to be without. Take care of yourself first so you can understand that this is my dynamic, and if I meet somebody or I date somebody that starts to become controlling, that starts to become really abusive verbally, physically, emotionally, financially, or any of those things, that I can get out in the beginning. I can walk away now. You know, don't get settled to the point where they done moved all their stuff out of their place and moved into your house and set up camp, and you don't really know this person, and all of a sudden, boom.
It's a problem.
One thing you do to piss them off. I used to live with a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I was married to him, and he hid it the whole time. but he was just so attentive to my needs. And, you know, he was there and he always wanted to take me out. And, you know, he was always around. That was that person that didn't want to go home at night. You know, got off of work and he wanted to spend time with me. Made me feel like I was the best thing since sliced bread. Hello, people. Yeah. Don't put yourself in that position where you think you're all of that. Because there is a motive. And if you take care of you, then you don't have to worry about somebody else taking care of you and putting their demands on your relationship or yourself. Mm-hmm. So you have to make sure that you understand what dating is. Yeah. Dating is trying to see if this is a person and you connect enough to have a relationship. Some people go right into the relationship like, this my man. No, you only known him for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. How is he your man? Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Yes. Take the time to get to know this person. If they don't want to tell you anything about themselves, warning, flag, red flag, back up and stay away. Mm-hmm. Because they don't want you to see the skeletons in their closet. And in the beginning, they might snitch on themselves by the way they tell you certain things. Because then they'll start saying, oh, yeah, well, she this and she did that and she cheated on me and she did this to me and she did that to me. But, sir, what did you do to her? Exactly. Mm-hmm. What did you do to her? You know, you can't tell me it was all flowers and roses and gummy bears and sugar plums and this person just mistreated you. Mm-hmm. You know, even if they were in an abusive relationship, even if you were in an abusive relationship, take those signs and pay attention to them again, because they will continue to happen over and over again if you don't pay attention. Mm-hmm. If you don't notice that you give up too much information in the beginning. If you don't notice that you allow them to dump on you and to give you stuff and to tell you stuff and you don't have an opinion of your own. Those are warning signs that you do not want to ignore. You know, you have people who are in the church. I was married to a man in the church and he was very abusive. The pastors, the elders, the mothers in the church made me think that it was something wrong with me if I didn't just put up with it for years. You know, the pastor said, I think you guys should try it again and work it out. No, this man is being abusive to me and I'm coming to you and you telling me that I'm supposed to stay with this man because he's my husband. I thought God loved me. Why would God want me to go through this? You know, you got to watch your surroundings because there's a lot of people around you that have put up with it as it's normal. Mm-hmm. Behavior is not normal. Don't let somebody make you accept something that you know yourself in your whole self and your Holy Ghost and your inside out that is wrong. Mm-hmm. It's just wrong. Mm-hmm. So make sure, like I said, the main focus is pay attention to the warning signs in the beginning. Take your time to get to know this person. Do not tell them about your abusive past until there is a moment in your relationship when you feel like you're comfortable enough to share if the relationship is going somewhere. If the relationship is not going anywhere and you sit there and you shared all this information with that person, for what? Yes. Just so they can do the same things to you? Mm-hmm. No.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because you are a Philadelphia police officer, and you know, I know that you get calls. Police officers get called when there is a report of domestic violence. I know firsthand because they used to come at my house every other Friday night when I lived at home with my mom and dad. So I know they answered those type of calls. So when you go into a home and you're facing and dealing with domestic violence in someone's home, I'm gonna tell you what used to happen. I don't know if they have changed it now. When they used to come to our house when we were young, and most of the time, me and my sister now would call 911 and tell them my daddy beat up my mommy or something like that, and they would come. Of course, he would be drunk, they would just take him and drive him around for a little bit, and let him out. That's way back. So what do police officers do now? Because domestic violence is so prevalent, people know about it. They know that it's real. They know it's not a cry wolf scenario.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So what is the protocol now for police officers who are called into domestic violence? Because you've seen it on both spectrums. You've seen it firsthand for yourself, and then as a police officer, you have seen it. So what's the protocol now when you go into a home that's been reported for domestic violence?
Okay, so now the Philadelphia Police Department has upgraded the priority of a domestic incident, whether it's mother, father, sister, husband, wife. They've upgraded the domestic incident to priority 2. A priority 1 is the highest. Domestic used to be at the priority 3, and now it's priority 2. So it's urgent. The manpower of the police department is very, very scarce, and we do our best to get to these domestic incidents. We get as much information as we can from the dispatcher. If the person is being abused because, the children call in and they're screaming, that upgrades the priority to 1. If the person has a weapon, that upgrades the priority to 1. And if it's, some kind of bodily harm being done, that upgrades to the priority 1. Most of the time, like I said, it's a priority 2. So once police arrive on location, what we mainly do is take the parties and separate them so that we can get the story, and then we come back together to try and give them some resolution. Sometimes we ask the abuser to leave. Sometimes they don't leave. We cannot force anyone to leave that house. We can't take them out and ride them around for a while. We can't force anyone to leave. But however, we give the abused person information on how to obtain a restraining order, how to get help from a domestic violence advocate. We have cards. We have yellow cards. I meant to have them with me. We have yellow cards that we give out to people of domestic violence. And we also, once we take a report of that incident, we fill out a domestic violence form. It's a total different form than all the other paperwork that we turn in, and it goes to a different place. If it has been abused or something that requires the other person to be arrested, that goes straight up to the detective division. And even if the person isn't on location any longer, that person is, a warrant is issued for that person's arrest. If it is verbal dispute only, we give that information to our victim assistance advocate, who once we fill out the paperwork, we give them a pamphlet with a whole bunch of information on it, and we turn their information over to our victim assistance officer, and also our domestic violence advocate gets that information and reach out to those people to try and see if they need more help. What can we do to help as a police department, and give them resources? So it's no longer just fill out a piece of paper and just put it away and that's it. It's different. It goes to different places according to what the category is. Mm-hmm. And mainly if it's physical signs of abuse, immediately the person that has abused the person gets locked up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They immediately get locked up. If there's a restraining order involved and that person is there, of course they get locked up. But if there's no restraining order in place and the person has signs of abuse, we immediately arrest that person. And that person doesn't have to cooperate with the police in order for that person to be arrested. Okay. Because it's the law and we're trying to help people, and we don't want that situation to turn into something worse. So the city of Philadelphia has now new laws when it comes to domestic violence. And it's not just the male, it's also the female. Also, if the male has signs of abuse, then the female gets arrested, and sometimes people say, oh, we don't want no involvement. Our neighbors called the police. We're fine. We don't want you to do anything. I'm not giving a statement. I'm not telling you guys anything. And there's nothing we can do about it. Mm-hmm. But if that person reports to us that this person has done this and is a physical sign of abuse, then that person gets arrested. If there's no physical sign of abuse, like we said, we give them the information that they need to go and get a restraining order. And also, if there is a physical sign of abuse and that person gets arrested, that person can also go after hours to 13 and Filbert at any time of the night and get a restraining order and get that served to the person with an eviction while that person is in police custody. But if there's no physical signs of abuse and that person wants to get a restraining order, they have to go Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 to 1501 Arch Street in Philadelphia in order to get a restraining order. Mm-hmm. And I would advise everyone who's in this situation to document. A lot of times women don't want to make a report. They don't want the report number. The police officer can even give you a copy of that domestic form. If you're a victim of domestic violence, you can come to the district, give them your report number, and we can give you a copy of it to even take down to the court for a restraining order to keep for your records for any reason. But you have to make sure that you follow through, because we can be called to a house 10 times, and if the woman doesn't want to do anything, then our hands are tied.
Mm-hmm. Well, Luv Bay, we want to welcome you again to Suffering in Silence with Minister Tia on Luv Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. We are here with you every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, with a replay on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern, also on Thursdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Luv Bay, we are continuing to rise out of the ashes together. We have a few more resources that we want to share with you. Joseph J. Peters Institute. The Joseph J. Peters Institute has been helping Philadelphians experiencing domestic abuse since 1955. Here you can access individual therapy, group counseling, and help to come up with a safety plan. If you have children or teenagers who witness domestic violence, this center offers trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, family services, and mental health care. The group also offers dialectal behavior therapy for both CIS and transgender people who have experienced domestic violence. Their address is 100 South Broad Street on the 17th floor. Again, this is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Their phone number is 215-701-1560. Their website is jjpi.phmc.org. And we have the Domestic Violence Center of Chester County. If you are a Chester County resident, including Coatesville, Kennett Square, Oxford, and Phoenixville, the DVCCC can offer support. They have provided free counseling, housing, and legal services for more than 40,000 victims and survivors since 1976. If you have children, they offer support groups for them to heal through art and learn healthy coping skills. The DVCCC main office is in Westchester, but they have 5 satellite locations across the county. Their phone number, which is 24 hours, is 888-711-6270. Their website is dvccpa.org. And we also have a network of victim assistance, NOVA. Founded in 1974, NOVA is the first sexual assault crisis center in Bucks County and is open for all QTBIPOC people. If you have been sexually assaulted, NOVA provides trauma-based bilingual counseling, group support, behavioral therapy, advocacy, legal support, help understanding the criminal justice system, and crisis intervention. Additionally, you can contact NOVA for a compassionate medical forensic exam or for a staff member to accompany and support you in the emergency room. Their phone number, which is 24 hours, is 800-675-6900. Their website is awomansplace.org. And I want to share just a bit more from the article we read from earlier, how to help someone experiencing domestic abuse. And then Pastor May will go to you for a question or a comment. This is how to help someone experiencing domestic abuse. There are lots of ways to start a conversation with someone you think is being abused, says Young Wilds, including, I'm so sorry you're going through this. You don't deserve it. It's not your fault. How can I help? The most important thing to remember is not to be judgmental, because chances are they are already feeling very judged. Instead, offer them a safe and supportive environment where they can express themselves freely without fear of being blamed. Don't offer unsolicited advice. Be patient, lend an ear, and try to put the power back into their hands. Finally, Young Wilds recommends giving yourself a lot of grace, because seeing someone you love being in a domestic abuse situation can be really hard. And so with that, Pastor May, you have a question or a comment?
Well, out of everything that Connie has said on tonight, one of the things that she was talking, as she was giving some of the warning signs, is when the individual, be it male or female, began to break down the walls of trust of those that you have been with for years, family, friends, acquaintances, and they begin to break down all of those walls of people you have trusted, that with the main goal and main objective is to put trust only in them, even when it makes you lose trust in your God. They then want to become your God, and want all that you need, and all that you can obtain come from them. And the main point is to win your mind, body, soul, and spirit to be taken completely over, and that you would look to nobody but them. So it really takes away from everything that you were, or who you were, or who you had become at that point, and have you unplug and disconnect all of those people that you have been connected to, who have been watching out for your welfare for years, and now placing them in light of being your enemy, and you can't trust them. And that's one of the sad things, that when someone gets basically almost mind controlling as well over the individual, because now your all of your cognitive thought process of those that you had been accustomed to trusting and had been looking out for your welfare, and had proven that they had been looking out for your welfare, now giving you advice and telling you their warning signs, seeing warning signs, seeing things, and begin to share what's going on, and then it can't be received because now the person has been somewhat brainwashed to disconnect and break all those walls of trust with family and friends. And at that point, you really have to really be in prayer for that individual, because that tentacle stronghold can be so strong. A lot of times when females get at that, the family members don't know that they're going through some things, and there's something that they really need that they haven't even shared with their family and friends. That when this individual comes in and seems to give them everything they need, they lose sight of those who have been there for them all along. So there's an inward driving force of that individual, a need as well that has not been met. You love your family, your friends, they've been there, but a lot of times there is a need that has not been able to be met or satisfied by anybody that you've been connected to. And when that person comes in and seems to fulfill the need, almost as a predator, to come in and find out what you need, they try to be that, only to disconnect it once they get you, and then you don't have any backup because you're disconnected from anybody that could possibly help you. And that's the sad thing, that so many people get locked into, be it male or female, and when they lose the connection and have cut all the ties of those people that have been there to help, and they no longer have it, and now they're locked into this nut, okay, that now wants to control you or is controlling you and have you in a place that you don't need nobody else but me. Crazy.
Well,
Okay.
Minister Connie, I want to thank you so much for being with us, and I thank you for sharing those red flags. And I think, especially with the younger that we are, I think those red flags can go by us because we may feel flattered, like with the love bombing. The attention just makes us feel good. It makes us feel, so important. But you really have to think, as you said before, it is a problem when this person is asking you 1,000,001 questions about yourself, and yet they're giving you no answers about them, inviting themselves along to all of your activities, inserting themselves into your place, but you can't go anywhere and do anything with them on their time. It really is important to pay attention. And again, I agree with you. As you said, you need to build yourself up. You need to have yourself together financially, have yourself together in your own self-esteem, so you're not dependent on another person. So you're not just blown away when someone says, well, you're beautiful. Well, thank you very much. I tell myself that I'm beautiful every day. I agree with you. And I
buy your own self a diamond.
Yes. Walk into a jewelry store and buy your own diamonds. Go to a jewelry store and the biggest one, 7 carats.
Right.
Okay? Go into a jewelry store, and even if you don't buy it, just try it on. Get the thrill over. Just try it on. You know what it feels like.
Yes.
Yeah. But do those things for yourself. Put yourself, in that position where you're not dependent on the love and support, or what you think is love and support from another person.
And if I can interject this one thing that I've also seen, that it starts a lot of times in high school students too.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
because of they're not getting what they need at home from their parents and things like that, and they're neglected and abused at home. They wind up in these relationships at such a young age, where there's domestic violence in high school and middle school, and those things that people don't watch out for, with their own children. That those conversations need to be had with the younger generation also, because I've seen it in that aspect, that it starts even some in high school.
Yes.
Well, it starts in college too. I've talked to some of my college granddaughters.
It's in every aspect, and like I said, even down to middle school, it can start there, where you start developing a pattern of the people that you look for, because they're nothing like the people that raised you.
Right.
Well, Luv Bay, we are just after the hour, so with that, Pastor May, if you have a final comment, and then I want to give Minister Connie the final words on this evening.
It's good. I'm glad that you gave all the red flags, flags that we may have not covered before, people may have forgotten it, but it's always good to reiterate those flags so people will be aware of it, and maybe sit and listen even tonight and say, oh, that's a flag? Now, we're not telling y'all to go out there, because now you might have a good man. Okay, or you might have a good woman. Okay, don't go out there because of one little thing that she said. It may not be that, but you got to test the spirit by the spirit. Okay, so you still got to have your antennas up, to make sure that it could be something going on, or it could be you. So, and I appreciate, you letting us know what the warning signs are. I think about the robot. I don't know, y'all may not know, but you think about Will Smith and Lost in Space. But he had this robot. So, warning, 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 warning. His eyes will be flying all over the place. Warning, warning, warning. So, y'all listen to the warning signs, y'all. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay.
Minister Connie, your final comment for the evening?
Yes. Everyone that has a situation like Pastor May said, it might not be a flag. It might be something that's going on. The best thing that you can do with that person is talk to that person and communicate with that person.
Yes.
Of how this incident or how this situation is making you feel, and give them a reason. And also, like Pastor May said, it might be you. Go to get yourself some counseling. There are counseling out there available. It's nothing wrong with going to see a psychologist. Doesn't mean you're crazy. A psychologist, whether it be faith-based or just a professional psychologist that can help you to get your head on straight and understand who you are, and you might be able to talk to a stranger better than you would be someone that's close to you. Just know that help is out there for anybody, and evaluate your situation according to your situation, not someone else's. Mm-hmm. Somebody else you may know might be going through something, and it might be similar, but it doesn't have the same spirit behind it. Mm-hmm. So make sure that you, like she said, like Pastor May said, pay attention to your own situation, and make sure that you evaluate your situation on a case-by-case basis, and look in the mirror. Are you lacking something that you need someone else to fulfill? And that's the reason why you're having these problems, because you're trying to make somebody do something that they're not capable of doing. Doesn't mean you have a bad relationship. It means that you need something that only God can give you.
Yes.
And you're looking to a man or a woman to do it for you. Mm-hmm. So always, always, always point back up to God, and then look in the mirror first, and let a man first examine himself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for being here. We would absolutely love to have you come back and talk with us again in the future. I think we should have a Friday night Pastor May where just all the siblings come together. Yes, and we just have a conversation. We might break the network. There are just so many of us.
They've been asking for that kind of time, really, they have, But they would say, you don't never have no time for us. You better fit in where you can fit in,
We have to create a night just for that.
You've been asking for it, others have been too. So we'll try to make it happen
yes.
soon, hopefully.
Luv Bay, if you want to catch up on previous episodes from the program, you can visit our YouTube channel, Suffering in Silence DV. We want to thank you for joining Suffering in Silence with Minister Tia on Luv Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. We are here with you every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. And Luv Bay, we are continuing to rise out of the ashes together. Good evening.